My name is Ava Holloway. I'm 34, and it's 6:12 on a Thursday night, standing in a hospital corridor, still wearing my badge and a blazer smelling of coffee and antiseptic. I listened to a voicemail that should have broken me. It didn't. It clarified everything. My mother's voice was calm, controlled, the kind of calm that only comes from someone who already believes they're right. "You're cut off," she said. "Don't contact us again. We're moving forward without you." The call ended. No hesitation, no emotion, just a decision delivered like a verdict. I stared at the gray wall while a janitor rolled past. Somewhere, a hospital alarm chirped. Life went on. But something had shifted. I didn't cry. Reality isn't like the movies. It's quieter. I just replayed the message, twice, because sometimes truth needs to be heard more than once. My mother hadn't just cut me off. She'd finally said aloud what they'd been implying for years. I was valuable only when I was useful. When I fixed their paperwork, cleaned their financial messes, solved their problems. The moment I stopped being convenient, I became expendable. I didn't argue. I didn't call back. I typed one word. Okay. Then locked my phone and returned to work. What my mother didn't realize, she thought she'd removed the family disappointment. She'd actually cut off the one person who quietly knew every weak spot in their carefully constructed life. The next morning, 7:43 a.m., I did something simple. I stepped out of the systems holding their plans together. No anger, no threats, just a few emails. By noon, the house closing stalled. By 3 p.m., the contractor refused to start work. By evening, 18 missed calls from people who'd told me never to contact them. Funny how quickly "never speak to us again" turns into "why aren't you answering?" But the real panic didn't start with my parents. It came 2 days later with a voicemail from Graham Pike. "Ava, we have a serious problem." That's when I realized my family hadn't just been using me, they'd been using my name. And if I didn't act carefully, their collapse would ruin more than them. It could ruin me, too. This wasn't about hurt feelings anymore. It was about survival. And I hadn't even discovered the biggest lie yet. The next morning started quietly. Too quietly. 7:43 a.m., coffee cooling beside me. City waking up, traffic humming, delivery trucks backing into alleys. My phone kept lighting up. 3 missed calls from my father, 2 from my sister, 1 from my mother. Answer your phone. Less than 12 hours ago, cut off. Now, answer your phone. I didn't respond. I opened the draft I'd written the night before. I work in forensic compliance for hospital networks. I track financial trails most people never notice, where money should go, where it actually goes, and what happens when it doesn't match. My family didn't care about my job, but they loved the benefits. For 6 years, I quietly reviewed contracts they ignored, corrected paperwork, translated legalese into decisions they could pretend were easy. Their latest obsession, a downsizing move, selling the family house, buying a gated townhouse by the lake, elegant retirement life. But the entire plan depended on financial approvals passing through me. A favor, one of many. That morning, I did something simple. I withdrew. I emailed the title coordinator, I notified the broker, I flagged the shared access credentials for suspension. No accusations, no drama, just professional distance. By 9:18 a.m., the first consequence hit. The closing paused. 11:02 a.m., contractor halted renovations. 12:37 p.m., my father called. "Ava, seems there's a misunderstanding." "What kind of misunderstanding?" "The title company says you pulled authorization. They can't move forward." "Yes, that's correct." Silence. Then, "You need to fix this today." I almost laughed. For the first time in years, I wasn't causing problems. I was simply not solving them. The real crisis, not the house, not yet. It arrived that evening, an email about my grandmother and a deposit my family couldn't actually cover. By then, my phone had been vibrating for hours. I hadn't answered, not to punish anyone, just to understand. The care facility's message was polite, careful. Funding structure previously described by your family remains active? Funding structure. That made me sit up. Deposit for my grandmother depended on the townhouse sale. That depended on the old house selling, and I had just stepped away. The chain was cracking. My phone buzzed again. Dad, Mom, sister? I let it ring. 3:07 p.m. Voicemail from Dad. Ava, the title company says there's a hold. Patricia says you pulled authorizations. What kind of game are you playing? A game. Interesting word. 20 minutes later, another voicemail. You can't just disappear. People expect answers. People. That told me everything. The family group chat was a panic alarm. Messages flew. How could you do this right before the move? Mom is humiliated. I typed 3 words. You told me. A minute later, an unfamiliar number called. Graham Pike, legal counsel for my parents. We have a serious problem. Lawyers rarely call unless something expensive is burning. Graham Pike's voice calm, practiced. Your parents made several commitments regarding their relocation. Commitments like what? Property closing, grandmother's care, charity boards. Charity boards. My mother loved appearances, not work. The issue, he said, is that many commitments assumed you were overseeing compliance. I leaned back. That assumption is incorrect. Some parties might have thought you were still involved. Translation, my name had been used after I stepped away. I said calmly, all communication must be in writing. No calls, no informal explanations. If this isn't resolved, reputational damage could occur. Suddenly everything made sense. My family wasn't afraid of losing money. They were afraid of losing image. Later, I opened an email. My mother had already told donors a story painting me as the difficult daughter, someone to blame for the crisis. I didn't plan to attend the charity event. Then I saw the email. You might want to see how your name is being mentioned. The attachment described my mother's dedication to elder care advocacy while framing me as estranged and unstable. I showed up anyway. The conservatory, glass ceilings, greenery, soft music, polite laughter. I spotted my family. My mother's smile faltered when she saw me. You invited me, I said calmly. Her smile tightened. I did no such thing. Not directly, but you've been telling a story about me. 2 donors noticed the tension. Her facade wavered. Then let's talk about Grandma, I whispered, and suddenly everyone listened. Then let's talk about Grandma, I said. Silence spread. Donors paused mid-conversation. My mother hardened. Did the residents know the deposit depended on a house that hasn't closed? Her face drained. My sister tensed. My father avoided my eyes. I kept calm. Am I still handling compliance? Thought you were, one trustee said. I was, until last Thursday, I continued. My mother left a voicemail telling me not to contact the family. I withdrew my involvement. Cornered, her narrative was crumbling, and all I did was clarify the facts. Graham Pike intercepted me near the coat check. Your parents are in a fragile position. Property sale unstable, townhouse negotiations paused, care residents reviewing funding assurances. 3 collapsing pillars, all dependent on me. You're asking me to rescue their reputation? I asked. Yes, perception matters, he said. I shook my head. I'm not involved. He realized the gravity. If documents were submitted under my name, legal trouble could follow. Have you been contacted by compliance? He asked. Not yet, I said. The audit trail was visible. Signatures, approvals, access logs, all traceable. Anyone submitting documents after my withdrawal would be exposed. I had set the dominoes in motion, and they didn't even know it. Winter air bit through my coat. My phone buzzed. Alerts. Every notification felt like inevitability. Inside, my mother performed calm. Outside, cracks spread. Trustees whispered. Graham tried salvaging what he could. Documents flagged. Audit notes clear. Discrepancies under review. Truth was finally aligning with reality, and I wasn't even involved. Charity board messages arrived. Patricia Hull, my mother, was being questioned. My oversight, my credibility used without consent. Texts, emails, voicemails arrived. Panic masked as reason. I didn't respond. I observed. Dominoes fell. Foundation fractured. Consequences unfolded. Quietly, professionally, invisibly. Chaos, disguised as civility. Trustee questions. Graham Pike's updates. I stayed factual. I withdrew. Everything after my withdrawal wasn't my responsibility. Documented. Undeniable. Care facility reviewing deposits. Townhouse sale stalled. Old property inspection revealed repairs. Charity board exposed. My parents had no one to blame but themselves. Weeks later, consequences settled. Townhouse sold transparently. Old property sold with full disclosure. Mother stepped back from charity committee. Sister adjusted lifestyle. Father consulting. Me? I signed my own condo. Alone. Clean title. Silence earned. Revenge isn't destruction. It's boundaries, self-respect, and letting people face consequences. The most powerful revenge is freedom.